Oh, all right. I think we got this. I think it's going to be
All
Wonderful
right.
Wednesday, not Wacky Wednesday, you guys.
That's
Okay.
on pace.
So, hi again, Peggy, oh my angels. It's Wonderful Wednesday. Today's April 15th, and I think I got it. Thought I had a little bit of technical difficulty, so I had my good handy man to help me out. So I can actually see the chat room too, you guys. Oh, how exciting! It is going to be Wonderful Wednesday. And I'm switching things up a little bit today, you guys. First, I'll acknowledge the fact I'm here. You guys are here. This is wonderful. I see everybody in the chat room. Brandy and Jennifer and Sherry and Mark and let's see, Renee. So thank you guys for showing up. I'm going to start things just a little differently here. This week's been, the energy has just been very powerful, if you will, very intense, at least for me. I'd had a fantastic weekend at the Casey Mystic Fair, doing readings for so many wonderful people, and the messages that came through were so heartfelt, and it was just amazing. So thank you all that showed up out there. Thanks for the support. Again, amazing. It was just amazing. But I've been having conversations with Archangel Michael. He's been kind of bugging me. My energy's been shifting and changing. I think some of the things that I'm supposed to be doing are shifting and changing. I'm still going to do YouTube, that's for sure. But I think we're going to switch things up a little bit today, and then going forward, we're going to go with I'm still going to do readings on Wednesdays. I'm still going to be live on Wednesdays, but I'm going to start talking more about angels in everyday life, and talking about the angels themselves and the kind of energy that they have, and who to call on for different things. And some of this stuff I know ahead of time. Some of this stuff they just bring to me. And today's show, it was just going to be me doing live readings, and I was going to say hi, how are you? Thanks for showing up, blah blah blah, and then just do the readings out of the chat room. But the angels wanted me to talk to you guys about what's going on in the world right now, and I don't know a lot about astrology, but I know that today is a very powerful day. I have to look at some of my notes, because a lot of this just came to me within the last hour or so. So I don't have it memorized or have all the wording correct. But we're having a stellium in Aries. And what that means is we have multiple planets all lined up together in the sign of Aries at the same time. And for those of you who don't know, Aries is a fire sign, which I'm very familiar with because I'm a fire sign. I'm Leo, right? Aries is all about fire, which means new beginnings, courage, bold, fresh starts, and igniting something wonderful. And I was kind of talking to Archangel Michael, like, why do I need to know this? And why do I need to share this with other people? Well, I guess this hasn't happened exactly like this since 1846. And I guess during that time, and I don't know the history, again, I didn't have time to do a lot of research, there was a conflict there. And with what's going on in our world right now, with all the conflict and the war and all this feeling of doom and gloom, it's getting a lot of people down and depressed and scared and worried and almost feeling hopeless. And the angels want you to know that that's not what this is about. This stellium in Aries, again, which is all these, there's 7 fire signs lined up, okay? And let's see if I've got that right. 7 planets lined up, and they're all in Aries, which is all about fire. And again, what Archangel Michael and the other angels want you to know is the fact that this is not about doom and gloom and war and all that other. That may be going on, which we know it is, but what they want you to take from it is this is not an ending by any means, that this is an ignition. They're basically lighting a fire in our ass, right, to get us up moving, get us excited about the changes that we can make as human beings, as a collective, as a whole, to make things better. We can sit around and be, moan and groan and complain and lock into fear, which, it doesn't do us any good. That just attracts more of that. It only takes one person to light a candle, right? And you spread that fire to the next person, which is hope and love and togetherness, not separation, not fear, not hate. And they're wanting us to take this major event with these planets and look at it from the standpoint that the planets and the angels are saying, hello, let's get our act together. That hope, that dream that you've wanted to start, that you've thought about, they're giving us that fire now to start that, to get fired up about doing that one thing you've always wanted to do in your life that you've never done, to make the changes in your life that you've always wanted to make, but maybe didn't have the courage to. One of the things that comes to mind for me is, stop smoking, right? That's lighting that fire up, right? Put those cigarettes down. Stop that smoking if that's what you want to do. But that's a good example. That's what I'm saying. They want us to look at whatever else is going on in your life right now. If you could just do one thing that you've always wanted to do it now. The 15th through the 17th is when this stellium is taking place. And they're igniting that hopes and dreams and giving you the courage to take that step forward. For me, again, it's taken a step forward more with the YouTube, besides just answering questions and giving readings, which is no small feat. I mean, I love doing it, but I need to do more than that. I need to educate myself plus others about what's really going on with the angels and how they can help us. And if we want a specific angel, what are the benefits of that, right? And I know years ago when I first started doing angel readings, I told Archangel Michael I couldn't do it until I memorized every single angel and all that stuff, what they were good for, their colors, their blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, we'll let you know when you need to know it. Okay. Well, now I'm being told that there's certain areas of this I need. And what it looks like I'm going to be doing, but again, when they spring this on me, it kind of, I'm not real smooth with this today because it's I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm not the expert with everything, right? And I just go with the information that they give me. But we're going to expand the show on Wednesday to where we're going to talk about the different angels and the process of, communicating with them and signs to look out for, and what angels are associated with fire, what angels are associated with, water or earth or air, knowing that any of the angels can come through at any time, no matter what sign you are, no matter what the circumstances, right? But all of us kind of like to know, who's in our corner the most, right? So I hope you guys will be interested in this. I hope it's something that it sounds exciting for you as well. Because again, I'll go through whatever the angels have me give the first part of the show, and then the second half of the show I'll do like I've always done. I'll do the readings. But again, for those of you who watched me or listened to me over at 1-2 Radio, I did that for 12 years. I loved my radio show. And again, I would have a script all lined out of what I needed to talk about or whatever. And just as I was going on air, I would hear Archangel Michael say, no, we're not talking that about today. We're going to do some XYZ instead. So, and this is what's happening today is I got last minute notice that we're going to switch this up. We're going to change it. So, I'm excited about it, nervous about it. But I think it will be fun. I think it'll be exciting. I hope you guys would like it. Let me know your comments if you think this is something you're going to be interested in or not. But that's what I'm being led to do, is to switch this up a little bit. The show will probably be more than 30 minutes because we'll talk about whatever the angels want me to talk about and kind of get into some discussions on that. And then we'll get answers to those of you who type in questions into the chat room. So, the main thing that today they want you to know that this powerful energy is coming through. We're a part of it. Not to look at it as doom and gloom, like this is the end of the world and all this other stuff that some people are saying because of the energy that's associated with it. Instead, they want you to flip it around and realize that this is energy is taking place to ignite us into doing something good, something positive, to have the courage to step forward and to share our gifts with others, right? And to let's make this place better, all right? All we can do is try and put it out there, right? I believe in hope. I believe in love. And I'm a pretty positive person. I mean, we all have days where we're like, oh my God, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And right now I get that way when I turn on the news, and I've gotten to where I can't watch much of it at all. It's just too much for me. But so I think this came through real loud and clear for me today. This was what we need to do as a whole, and I need to take responsibility and shift my energy to where I'm not buying into the doom and gloom and the oh gosh, this is horrible, because I know things are going to be better. I know what's coming up soon, and it's exciting. It's good times, right? So I hope you guys are excited about it. I hope you will take heed and know that when you're hearing the doom and gloom, there's, yes, there are some people that tout the doom and gloom, and they buy into it, but you don't have to. Angels and God have your back. The one thing I ask you to do is, after the show today, I want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to think about the one thing that you've always wanted to try or do that now you're going to do. And I want you to, put your hand on your heart and ask God and Archangel Michael to help light the fire inside you to make whatever this is happen for you. All right? I've already done it before coming on the air today. And it's going to be exciting times. We can all be in this together, okay? And support each other. So that's what I've got. All righty. So now I'm going to jump into the chat room. Again, thank you all for showing up and bearing with me. Before I forget it, we're up to 170 subscribers. I'm like, whoop, whoop. We were at, 160? Now we're at 170. 10 more people. So I'm excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, any of my videos and stuff, please share with others. If somebody wants, somebody who needs a positive message or whatever. That's what I try to do. Okay? So, here we go. All right, let me start at the top here. Renee, thank you so much. Renee she always watched over or listened over at 1-2 Listen, or 1-2 Radio. So Renee, thank you for coming over and being part of Oh My Angels, I think pretty much since I started. So thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Is it Cherry? I know it's another name you go by besides Cherry, but I say hi. All I can see is the email part of it. So, and Brandy's here. Brandy's a sweetheart. I'm glad you're here as well. Jennifer Duncan's in the house. Thank you for showing up, Jennifer. Let's see here. All right, says, this is interesting to me. I just saw something about Archangel Haniel. I'd never heard of that angel. I know there's a lot of angels. Even though I talk with them, I don't know all of them either. And Haniel is one that I know a little bit about, but not that much about. I think today, I was focusing on Archangel Michael because he is one of the angels of fire, and this week is all about 7 planets. Well, once the new moon comes in, it'll be in Aries. So we'll have 7 planets in Aries, which is fire. And the other 2 archangels, let's see, for fire, I wrote this down. Again, I didn't have them all memorized. They come through, I think Ariel is one of them, I think. And let's see, I thought I wrote it down somewhere here. Uriel, Ariel, and Michael are the 3, are the angels of fire. But if you guys have a particular angel you want to learn about, you can type it in, and we'll get the 411 on it, and we'll start talking about these. I think that the way that Archangel Michael put it out to me is that things are moving so rapidly and so fast in today's world, in today's time, to be able to have the information we need. I mean, sure, you can look it up or whatever, but to not know, or to not know how to contact the angel you want to talk to, or get the message from, for me, it's always been Archangel Michael. You know, the other angels come through for me as well when I'm doing readings for people, but Archangel Michael is the one that I've had the closest connection with. And we need to spread our wings, so to speak, right? And there's so many out there. And some people, you know, like with me, when I first found out that Archangel Michael was my archangel, I was like, oh, I don't want him. Everybody's got him. Why do I have to have him? You know, he has a good sense of humor. He's like, oh, so you didn't want me to be your archangel, huh? And I was like, no, I didn't mean that. It's just that everybody has him, you know. I wanted somebody obscure, right? And I always kid him and say he's the one that gets the hard cases. They have to have somebody pretty powerful to get control over people like me, I guess. But he laughs. But there's so many angels and cherubs and guides. I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, we just mainly hear about the main archangels, right? But I don't know all of them either, because to me, there's still so many of them. And when they've come through and introduced themselves to me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's nice, you know. And I give the message to, you know, the client with that information, and we just go from there, right? So, but I thought it would be kind of fun, especially since Archangel Michael told me that's what they want me to do, is to let's get to know some of these archangels and some of these angels, and get the background on them, right? And get the I think make them seem more real. A lot of times people say, "Oh, that's the woo-woo stuff," right? And I guess in some sense it is. You know, I was talking at the fair to several people, and they were talking about the difference with, you know, a tarot reading, a psychic reading, an angel reading. And it's really funny. Some people can handle a tarot reading, you know, with the tarot cards, but then they'll say, "Oh, I can't have an angel reading because I don't have angels." Well, we all have angels, you know. When I was younger, I would say, "Well, you know, I talk to dead people, right?" And I believe that, but for somebody to say that we have aliens, I was like, oh, that can't be. Well, yeah. You know, how can I talk to people who are no longer here, but yet not believe in aliens, right? It's all relative. It's all the woo-woo stuff, if you will. But I think what happens is we get so hooked on being human and only in this dimension that sometimes it's hard for us to accept other dimensions or other aspects that intertwine with us as human beings at this point, at this time here on Earth. And it can be very overwhelming at times. You know, some of the mediumship readings that I did this weekend were very enlightening to me. I learn something every time I do a mediumship reading of how the communication. I have one lady that comes to me quite a bit, and her husband talks to her just as if he was talking to her on the telephone. And I mean, it's just amazing the things that we can do if we open up our minds, and it's amazing to me. And to do the job that I do, the work that I do, the readings, the guidance is just, I'm blessed to do it. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do, to tell you the truth. It's so rewarding. It can be very heartbreaking. You know, for those that have crossed and they're trying to communicate with someone here who is angry that they passed, or is not accepting that they passed, or feels like they did something wrong on this side that caused this person, to die, or they weren't there with them when they died, or, the regrets and stuff, when it's not about that at all. It's a connection. The connection never dies. It never dies. And it's so, to me, comforting and reassuring, because I know when I leave this body, I know what's waiting for me. And I'm not afraid of that at all. Okay? So it's just a blessing. Like we've talked about with Yogi, it's been some hard days with him, but I know when he crosses, I still have connection with him. I still have connection with my first Yorkie, Jake Man. So, and Jake's already agreed that he'll be here, when Yogi goes. So that's very comforting. And I have some days that, even though I know that, I can be okay with it. And I have other days that I know that and I'm not okay with it because I'm human. I have the emotions just like everybody else does. So, but I think this should be kind of like a learning new information and helping each other out through these very trying times, and knowing that we're not alone, and that the angels are there for us. That all we have to do is reach out to them and ask a question and get confirmation or a solid message. The message today, if you didn't see it, was whatever decision you've made was the right one. The angels are supporting that. Yes, you made the right choice. And again, these messages that I pull for I get the information for the whole, the collective whole, not for just a particular person, not just for myself, just as for the collective. And so when I got that message, that yes, I made the right decision, it was like, golly, it's just spot on, because I had some decisions to make this week, and I made them. And then, like I said, you need to let go of the worry. I lay there in bed thinking, okay, did I make the right decision? It felt right, but I don't know. And then, then get the message that, yes, you made the right decision, and let go of the worry, because you've made the decision that the universe and the angels support you. So let it go. Let the worry go. And then with this amazing event in the sky with these 7 planets coming into Aries, and the fire all around us. And instead of being all doom and gloom, it's all about, oh man, let's get up and go. This is finally the time's arrived to take the steps you've always wanted to take. Take the courage to say, yes, I want that particular job, or yes, I'm willing to fight for that relationship, or yes, it's time that I retired. I'm ready to do that, or I'm ready to take that trip to wherever it is that you've always wanted to go, but you've been afraid of either the cost or the not knowing the area or whatever. Now's the time, right? And sometimes it's just the everyday questions that we have in life that can be so huge because of either our income or what's going on around us, or the living situation, the work situation, that's hard to make those kinds of decisions being under that kind of stress. And then when you do make a decision, oh my gosh, how's this going to impact the kids or the loved ones or whatever, and so to get the clarification again today that yes, the decision you made was the right one, it's a load off your shoulders. So I love working with the angels, and I think what Archangel Michael's point today as well is, besides getting people fired up or ignited to have the courage to step forward, it's also to have the courage to start paying attention to your own angels and to communicating with them. This is not only just for a select people, to talk to angels. Everybody can talk to angels, right? Every single one of us. So I think that's what they're all getting excited about, is because they know that we as a collective whole have a lot of worries and concerns right now, and they want to help. We have to remember to ask and then be open to receive the answers. So I hope you guys are excited about this. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Let's see if I've missed somebody. Let's see. Sherry says, I feel your excitement. I know they hit me with this, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. And I'm like, really? Didn't see this coming. So, I know things were going to change. I just wasn't anticipating this particular avenue, but it feels right and it feels exciting. I love learning and I love sharing the information with others. So I think that we'll be in this together. I was sure saying I keep getting messages to write a book. So then when are you going to write a book? What's it going to be about? And why haven't you? I was told a long time ago I should be an author. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. But they say they're still waiting. So maybe if you write the book, that'll get me off the hook to write mine for the time being. Okay. So let's let you get on it and, make that commitment today. Say, I'm going to write that book. Write the first chapter this week, right? Start your book, name it, and write the first chapter this week. How does that? Does that sound good? I think you've got that. I'm hearing go for it. Okay. So, yeah, that's something you want to do. Me, I would be better talking a book than I would writing it. I get too impatient writing things down. 'Cause my mind, I tell people sometimes I feel like I have a monkey mind. It's just all over the place, That's why I don't really sit and meditate like most people. My form of meditation is baking. I love to bake. Well, my hands are busy baking, but recently I made poppy seed bread. It turned out really good. And then week before last, I made strawberry muffins. Again, when I'm baking, I get in my information. I get my downloads, what most people get while they're meditating. But I can't just sit there and meditate. I go to sleep and I can't hear it. I'm out. And people go, well, did you get messages during that time? No. I was sawing logs through the forest. Sherry says, sounds like a lot, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah, you can do it. Just ask Archangel Gabriel to help you with that. I think you'll be good at it. So let's see, who else is in this chat room here that can name something they've always wanted to do but haven't had the courage to do it? What about you, Jennifer? Are you still there? Put something in there that you would like to do, and we can give you a support for that. Sherry's going to be here writing a book. She's going to get she's going to give it a shot. And what about you, Brandy? Is there something that you've always wanted to try that you haven't done? Let's see here. Well, anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn more about, some of these angels that seem, I think what we're going to do is kind of go along with the astrology and get the angels that are tied, the main angels that are tied to the different astrological signs. That's what I'm thinking, but every time I plan something, then, Archangel Michael is really good at switching things up. So I guess what we'll do is we'll see what happens next Wednesday, what subject matter he brings up for me to bring to the table next Wednesday. But I'm not going to give up doing the readings because that's my favorite part. So I didn't say, did anybody put any messages? If you want any questions you want answered? Brandy or Sherry or Renee, do you have a question you want answered? The last name I was born was D. Gabrielle. There you go. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. The angels are amazing how things work out. It truly is. When I work with the angels, it's never dull, right? And I was so worried about doing this. I want this show to be good. I want you guys to like it. I want to be able to give answers to your questions from your angels. And I also want to be able to share, some of life's circumstances that the angels have helped with, because they're with us every single day. Some of them are human beings they're angels walking around as human beings. They're sometimes unseen, but you know they're there, right? For me this weekend, it was a lot about connecting with those on the other side. It was a lot of mediumship this past weekend, and that's always fun. And I think my favorite part in doing a mediumship reading is when someone asks a question about their loved one, and the loved one comes through and gives some information that the person, the client that is talking to me, doesn't want to own up to. It can get kind of funny from my perspective, to where, you know, the one on the other side is saying, well, remind them of, you know, this particular event, blah, blah, blah. And you see this person's face get kind of red, and they're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But you know, yes, you do. So, but I mean, I don't argue with them. I just laugh and just, you know, go on to the next question that they have. So, but yeah, they can get pretty, they're pretty funny, you know. But most of the messages come through are so, they're either filled with humor or there's so much love. And a lot of people, well, you know, so-and-so was mad at me when they crossed over and blah, blah, blah. Once they cross over, they're not angry anymore. They see the big picture. They know why things happened the way that they did. And, I mean, the ones I've talked with have all just been loving and so excited that their loved one had reached out. I had one client this weekend who, the person on the other side was coming across to tell them that she loved the movie Ghost, right? And was describing the penny scene, you know, where Patrick Swayze rolls the penny up the door, right? And this girl was like, Ghost, what's that? And her best friend smacked her on the hand and she goes, I told you we needed to watch that movie. She goes, it's a good movie. I said, it's the best of all time. So, again, filled with love and laughter. You just never know what you're going to get, right? And I love every bit of it. And it's also nice to give people who are stressed because of all the stuff that's going on in today's world reassurance that, yes, you know, that job they're looking for is coming. I recently was told there was one young man who had applied for a couple of jobs, and, you know, what I had heard at the time was I thought for sure that they were going to get the one job. One of the two jobs that they had applied for, on a personal note, I knew of the company and was hoping they would stay away from that company. Well, it came to be that particular person didn't get either one of those jobs. And even though I do feel like they were being considered, but I also feel like, you know, when I found out that they didn't get it, when I went back in, it was for their highest good. The places that they had applied, neither one of those companies were standing in their integrity. So it's when you give a reading, I always try to, you know, I give the information how it comes through. You know, I had, you know, a lady tell me point blank, you know, whatever you're telling me, I'm not resonating with. And I'm like, well, then, you know, maybe you should try one of the other readers around here, because I can only tell you what comes through for me. You know, I've never given a reading to where I'm going to blow smoke to somebody. You know, I tell them exactly what comes through, and there's always a reason for it. So you just have to kind of take the information you get and go with it, and you know, don't lose hope, you know, especially right now. You know, I love our country. I love to be here, and I love doing what I'm doing. So all I can do is share that enthusiasm with you guys, and hopefully, you know, the more knowledge that I gain, I can share with you guys, and vice versa. Let's see here. Sherry says, if you were to write a book, where would you start? That's my problem, Sherry, is the fact that when I look back at my life, you know, to me, it's just a regular life, right? But when I start telling my stories, people have said to me, how are you still alive? Because of the stuff I've gone through. And there was, let's see if I can find it real quick. There was a meme that somebody had just put out that I thought, oh my God, this says it. Let's see. It says, you don't fully grasp how bad the abuse was until you say it out loud and see the look on someone else's face, right? And that's been my life. But to me, it was a normal everyday life. I just assumed everybody else, maybe it's just I hope nobody else had to go through what I had to go through, but I also was smart enough to know that I wasn't the only one going through the crap I went through. But I wouldn't be here today, who I am and having the connection I do with the angels if I hadn't gone through all the crap I've gone through. As a snapshot, 2020, COVID, before they announced it was COVID, turned right around and got shingles, right? Within 2 weeks after that, was back in the hospital with COVID, and that time I almost died. Then I fell and hurt my back. Got checked out, and come to find out I had breast cancer, and then had a double mastectomy in December. So that went from January to December of 2020, and that was just 1 year of my life. So, yeah, I've been through a lot, but to me, I know there's people out there that have been through a lot worse, So I don't know. I've thought about, do I start it when I was a kid and first started talking with angels and, got grounded for it? Or do I wait until I was in my teens and went through the healing sessions and, Reiki and that kind of thing? Or my divorces, I'm married and divorced twice, and the abuse I've gone through. I don't know where I would start. And maybe that's one of the reasons I haven't written a book. I'd rather share the experiences with people like this, doing a YouTube or like what I was doing on 1-2 Radio, to share, hoping and praying that, somebody can learn from what I've been through, to know that I went through all that and survived that, if somebody's in that current situation right now, knowing that there is help out there, there is hope. And I truly believe that's why, I truly believe that everything that's happened to me happened to where I could share it with others so that they wouldn't have to go through the same thing, or where they would know that they weren't alone and there is help out there for people who are in abusive relationships and toxic relationships and everything else in between. I don't feel sorry for myself, and I don't want people to go, oh, poor Peggy. No, it's not about that at all. I'm hoping people would be inspired, knowing that I've gone through all that, and I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still me, still being me every single day. And I think that's the best way of winning. And when you have those kinds of situations, I feel like I'm stronger than ever. But I think those are things that I can share with people that will help them, right? So I don't know, Sherry, with you, I don't know. Where would you want to start? You want to start when you were little, or as a teen, or as an adult? I don't know. I don't know what type of book you want to write. A biography, But what I'm hearing for you, Archangel Michael or Gabriel, both of them are saying you already know exactly what you want to write about. So they're saying just get started. And the thing about it is, you can start wherever you want to start. Let it start flowing, and once it starts flowing, they'll guide you, they'll show you. Ask for their help every single day. I couldn't go through all the stuff I go through and survive this if I hadn't had help, if I hadn't paid attention. I always said that when I was little, God and angels were up there with the 2x4 going, Peggy, not again, pay attention. But I was one of those, like, prove it, show me. Instead of going, well, but I can do it, So, yeah, Sherry, just do it. Just start and see what happens. You could write the last chapter first and then go backwards. That's probably what would happen with me. I'd probably write the final chapter and then have to start back over, right? So, okay, you guys. Well, it doesn't sound like anyone's got any real questions in here today. I feel like there's somebody that is still second guessing a decision that they made this week already. And again, the message is reiterating, saying, said yes, you made the right decision. The angels and the universe are supporting you. So step forward confidently. Know that the choice and changes that you're making are the right ones. Sherry says, I want to write a book about where all the things I've learned. There'll probably be many once I get started. Yeah, you could have book 1 of 10, right? So good for you. Let us know next week. Okay, you guys. Well, I guess I'm going to get off here. Don't forget to pay attention to Friday morning, and you'll have the message for Friday and for the upcoming weekend, and it's a good one. They've already shared with me, so I know what's coming. So I appreciate you being here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. If you have, please share with others. I hope you like what's coming for this next week. And if there's anything particular you want to ask about or whatever, you can send me a message and I can follow up there. And I'll just send it off with sending you all blessings, light, love, and angel hugs. And I'll send you